Hi there, I'm Dr. Bill Wyatt, and I'm a general dentist that's practiced orthodontics for over 40 years, and I'm in the American Orthodontic Society. So if you want to learn orthodontics and you're a general dentist, or pediatric dentist, or just any kind of dentist that wants to learn orthodontics, you can come to the American Orthodontic Society and we'll teach you how to do it. And so this particular case that I'm going to cover right now is basically a molar uprighting case where we had a very bad 12-year molar that was really tilted down underneath the tooth, and we'll bring that out. But we did several other things in this case that are really important. One of them, we moved an ankylosed tooth in this case, and I'll show you how you can move them. You have to move the bone they're in to move the teeth, and also we expanded the lower cuspids quite a bit in here, and they stayed, and you can do that. We've got a whole video on expanding the cuspids, lower cuspids, and it works. I showed you a case that we did 20 years back, and we did a palatal separation on the case, and of course expanded the whole lower arch. The case has a number of things. Now, it is a first phase case that never ended. It started out and it went on and on for years, and you couldn't get a time you could come out of the case, and you needed to be there. So it's a pretty complicated case. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here, and we've got our little red marking pencil here. We'll show you things about it. This is the young lady. She sure got black hair, doesn't she? And a very straight facial profile, and when you look at her teeth, they have several problems in there, but you can do all sorts of things with these teeth if you really learn how to do orthodontics. Now here are her models, and this is back 6 of 82 when we took these pictures, and it was somewhere in the 90s before we finish this case. That'll run off a lot of people, but some of the cases never. You have to get in early and do preventive and interceptive stuff, and then you have to stay there sometimes, and you'd like to be able to get in there and do something and then quit and then come back later for the second phase. You can see we're in a crossbite right here on those teeth. Drop it in, you can see it right up here too, and kind of on the other side. Probably she shifts her jaw over to the side like that, but not. This is a very, very crowded lower anterior teeth. See, the two centrals darn near fill up the space in here. So it's very crowded, and it's crowded in the upper two. So we're going to do a palatal separation. Then while the palatal separator is in there, that pushes the tongue down in the bottom of the mouth. Then we'll widen the lower arch out too as we go along here. So it's an interesting case. And whoops, there we go. All right, we'll go to the next slide. This is where we show the palatal separator, and we show the lower arch. Now here are the deciduous cuspids. Whoops, have to back up there. The deciduous cuspids in here, and I still have to back up. Maybe I can't draw down in that area. So you can see how crowded the lower anterior is. And we're going to expand the lower cuspids, which many people think you can't do, but you can do it. Bring the roots back okay. palatally and have them tilted, they last, they hold too. And this one held fine. So here's the cephalometric. We started working on her back in '82. This we took, I don't have the other stuff, but this one was done in 1984. I think my little red marking pen is quit working here. I'll get it back where I can show you what I'm talking about sometimes. Okay, here is the palatal separator that we used. I didn't have pictures of it when it was in. Now this is where it was set on one side. You can see how much further it had moved. I mean, we opened it that much, you see, and it pushed the pallet apart that far. You see where the thing was sitting in here to start with. And we separated the pallet. Of course, it gave us a lot more space up above. They don't give you as much as you think, but you get whatever you separated, you certainly get that amount of space. And here are the pictures of the case further down the line. This is 1986 now. We've gone in and done the regular routine orthodontics and all that good stuff and got it going. Now I'm going to carry you through on the panorexes. I think we took about 12 panorexes on this case to show you. Now this is all lined up and that looks real nice, and that's what we did early, but we took a long time to finish the case out. Now this is the palette up here. It's much bigger. I'm going to show them after we'll show them at the end where we compare it. This is tremendously expanded from where it was, if you remember, on that part. Now I'll just run back for a second and show you that lower arch. You see this lower arch? That's the same darn arch right there that you're seeing over here. This is it. Now, okay, we're going to start on the panorexes, and I'm going to run through the case on that. Now, the young lady had been to some oral surgeon. She had some kind of problem, and she's got these clips in the tissue. I never did find out exactly what their use was and what they did. I just did my work and left them there. I didn't do anything to them, and they didn't seem to interfere with my work, whether they were closing off some arteries or whatever they were doing with them. I didn't ever find. If I found out, I may have asked about them, but I didn't know what these clips were there. They were in the tissue and didn't affect my teeth. Now this tooth right here is ankylose, and that now it stays like it is in the bone, but I move the bone out and the ankylosed tooth goes with the bone. So when you expand the teeth, you expand the whole blooming arch, and the teeth, you take a whole group of teeth and expand them, and you can move, the bone structure moves with the teeth. I've had the hardest time getting that across to oral surgeons and other people that do the movement. They want to go in here and surgically section the jaw and move it out like that, and it is totally unnecessary. If you move a group of teeth out, the bone goes with the teeth. You can just write that down. That is right. Okay, this tooth that I showed up here is ankylosed, so we're going to deal with that tooth as an ankylosed tooth. Now these clips, they just show up, they're out in the tissue, but they don't bother us. Now the 12-year molar is developing, at this time. This is 1984, and remember we had this case was finished and done in 86. Uh, this tooth, we won't try to move it in relation to the bone it's in, but I can take the whole bony structure, the structure of the jaw there, and expand it out, and that tooth goes right with it. You move the bus and it's on the bus and it goes with it. So however you want to talk about it, you can move the blooming ankylosed tooth, and you could move a implant or whatever you had in the bone. If you just moved everything around there, it'll move with them. See, a lot of people don't realize that's really simple, but a lot of people don't realize that. Now this is the Panorex number 2 taken in 84, and you can see where the teeth are, so you just have to stay in there. We put a little retainer in there while we were watching it for the other teeth to come in. Now here is another, this is Panorex number 3, and this is done 5/24 of 80. I thought it was 83 or 84, something like that. Anyway, you can see what's going on here. Now you can see we're developing a problem right here, and this is going to be our tooth that we've got to upright, but we don't try to upright it until we're well down the list. We can do that relatively easy if you, and that's what I really want dentists, every dentist ought to know how to upright a tooth. I don't care what you do in dentistry. For God's sake, don't put a crown on or a bridge or something on a leaning tooth. You can upright the blooming thing very easily if you just go over these videos and learn this. All right, that darn 12-year molar is just going to determine to go in down below, and it just doesn't want to straighten up. The one on the other side of the mouth seems to be coming in all right, but don't let it bother you. We know how to handle that little rascal. Okay, it's getting really bad there, see. I mean, it's stuck down in there, and it looks like it's trying to eat away that tooth. It's kind of under that band too, and that gets it hung even worse. But we know how to straighten that thing out. And now we've expanded, and I don't show a video in here, I mean a Panorex of the palatal separator, but we wore a palatal separator for some time, and you have the palatal separator in the roof of the mouth, and that forces the tongue in the lower part of the mouth, and then you put an arch wire on the lower part, and you can expand the lower relatively easy because the tongue is pushing it from the bottom side where your palatal separator is in there. So it was easy to expand the lower arch, no problem at all in there. So now this darn 12-year molar on this girl, it is determined to just get down in there and stay. I guess the one up above is chewing on it some and pushing it down. The other one we were able to handle. Now you can see the wisdom teeth coming in. Now you see a little bit of development, not much, but the girl develops 4 wisdom teeth, and then we had no room at all for them, so we had to have them removed, which I don't like taking out wisdom teeth if I can save them. And if I'd had a little more time, you could have extracted this tooth, but I didn't know what this tooth was going to develop like, and you could have moved this one over there and brought the wisdom tooth in underneath there. That's another possibility, but we didn't know much about the wisdom tooth at this time. Okay, now this is number 7 Panorex. I think that's it. And now, okay, we have straightened this tooth up, I'm going to have to go back to the other one and show you how we did it. Now we bonded a little hook, a little tube on the side of this tooth, maybe something like this. I don't remember just how much force, and then put this little, let me set there and white thing would go away, and we put this little spring like that. Then you bring it up and hook it, and it kicks that tooth right out of there, even though there's a wisdom tooth right back behind it. So that's the way we uprighted that. And we had the tooth up here. You can see the little tube is right here, and there's the wire that we, spring part that we uprighted the tooth and brought it out like that. Now there's so many dentists don't know how to do this. So for God's sake, learn how to do that. And pedodontists that ought to be taught in the school, for God's sakes. And this, don't just ignore the orthodontist. If you irritate them, you need to learn that. So now I've had a lot of good friends who are orthodontists that would be happy to teach the pedodontists. In fact, I taught with one for years, Dr. Larry White, the excellent orthodontist, and he and I were good friends. Now, this Panorex, we've set it up like that, and we'll bring it back. And when you set these darn things up, they always move back. And so you have your hook where it can slide, and the tooth will end up with a space, and you can tie an elastic chain on it, bring it up. It's easy to do. Alright, we've got it up. I pulled it up, it's closer. You can see it. Now these little clips don't have any, they don't affect you at all. Just to get there in there. Alright, there we banded the tooth, and we use bands on molars back here, and so we brought it in like that. Now this side is a little class 3-ish, you see. This over here is just barely class 1, so we're going to end up with a little deviation in the midline. This case will be a little further forward, and that's another thing that was wrong with this case. You've got an asymmetry, a pretty bad asymmetry. This is number 8 Panorex now, and we're getting right on down, and this is at 1986, and these wisdom teeth are coming in now, and there's absolutely no room for them, and this has got barely room enough for the darn 12-year molar, so we're going to have to get these dudes out, and we will do that later, but I'll tell you that's what I'm going to do. And this is the ankylosed tooth. I could not straighten it up like I wanted to, but it'll stay in there, but it is certainly ankylosed. Now, there's another view. This is number 9. It looks worse here, but when we get this hooked up, we can pick it up a little bit, make it look a little better. Well, somebody could come in and put a crown on top of it and fix the occlusion a lot better. But now we couldn't change this class 3 problem we got over here, because this tooth, I can't move it in the bone itself, but if I move the whole blooming jaw out there, I mean the whole bone of the jaw out, it goes with it, you see. So we did move the thing. You just move the bone it's in. Okay, that's number 9 Panorex. Number 10, so you can see it like that. And we're going to go ahead and we get this looking better than this. Now this tooth will come on down, this 12-year molar, and contact here, and then you're going to get these wisdom teeth. There's just no room for them, so we have to eliminate them. Now here's the, he's 13 now, I think this is number 11. And it looks a little better, but it's still not ideal. And so here we're recommending removing the wisdom teeth, you see. And so we send it to somebody, whoever, and takes out the wisdom teeth. Now here is Panarex number 12, and the wisdom teeth are gone. These teeth are pretty well interdigitated over here on this side. These are slightly class 3-ish over here, and I couldn't back this thing up to fix this. We could have pulled this forward a little bit maybe, but and our midline is going to be off. Now don't worry about that too much. They were chewing good on this surface over here, and the young lady's doing real good. She's 14 and 2 months old, and we've been working on this some time. Okay, here is her picture taken in 91, I think. And she's got a good facial height, and that's good on this part. But if you look at this face real close, you'll see that this takes a turn down here. Now she probably doesn't even know this, and her friends don't even know it, so might as well not even tell them. But this jaw on the left side is longer than the one on the right side, and so that is difficult to do anything with, and nobody pays attention. There's just more people. You can look at people speaking, and they'll have asymmetry just all over the place, and so just forget about it. Now that doesn't detract from the person unless you're just studying the face. Now she's got a beautiful smile, and it's got an angle to it, but people don't mind that at all, you know. That's a pretty smile. She has a beautiful set of teeth, and this is darn good orthodontics. And why did I see your teeth? You see teeth back in the corners of the mouth. I don't see much over here, but you do see teeth all the way around. Got a very winsome smile, and that's will be a benefit to her throughout her life. And here are the teeth. Now, if you look on the side, this midline looks like it's lined up here, but I'm shooting at an angle. If you look straight at it, this is kind of class 3-ish, and this is back a little bit, but when you get over here, it's interdigitated good, and she's got a beautiful set of teeth. It's not perfect, but it's darn good. And we've covered several different things in this case. We've definitely widened the upper arch. Now, I did not get this 12-year molar, may have come in a little longer, further back, and I didn't get it lined up. I didn't band it and put it on the arch where I regret that, because that's a little flaw that I left in this case. The rest of it is because I just didn't go back there and wasn't paying attention to it. And but as far as expanding, this is way out. Now these teeth are not leaning. These teeth. No, I'm gonna just discard that. Oh heck. I'm gonna have to go back and get this back in PowerPoint. Alright, now I have to put the little red marker back on there. Alright, now we're back in business. Okay, these are beautiful teeth, and there's not anything giving you trouble on this case right here. But we did several things. One of them, we expanded the whole, both upper and lower arches. We used a palatal separator, We moved the ankylosed tooth in here. We uprighted the molar, and that's what we're under, a bunch of uprighting teeth showing how to do that. And we moved this ankylosed tooth. Now we've expanded this upper arch. Now, when you look at where these cuspids would be in this case here. Now, if you just left this case alone, it would have been a mess, really. And see how far we've expanded this. And I can almost guarantee you these cuspids will still be out there years. In fact, I've got one of them expanding lower cuspid. We watched one for 20 years. You got to bring the root structure out with them. But so we've expanded the lower arch for the lower cuspids, and that's the end of that case. I'm going to go back here, and we'll just finish this off. But I hope to goodness, pedodontists, really it's a shame they don't feel like they need to get into more complicated orthodontics, but you really need to learn it. So I'm a general dentist, and I learned it, and you doggone sure can too. And so I hope that anybody, wherever you see these things, if you need to straighten up somebody, it is very gratifying to take somebody and see what they would be like, and you go in and do fix them a beautiful smile, and that means an awful lot to them. It means a lot to me. It makes your life much better. So I'm going to stop this and we'll close it out.